In this section, we're going to look at world-class law firms in large centers where it is highly competitive, where they're spending the most money on advertising, and they're spending money on professional services such as search engine optimization, and we stand to learn the most from the tactics that they're using over time. I'm going to show you how to analyze those tactics so that we can emulate them in your business. Again, we're using the principle here that we want to be a big fish in a small pond. Whatever market that you're in, you can stand to learn good lessons from the large law firms in competitive marketplaces who are spending the most money. So we're going to look at who's spending money on PPC or paid traffic, and we're going to look at the organic rankers, and based on my experience with search engine optimization, we'll do some broad speculation about what it is that is making them rank. And I'm going to examine on-page factors as well as what we call off-page factors, such as the number of links out there on the internet that are linking inward to them. And not just any links, they have to be high quality links. It used to be that any link would contribute to your ranking in the search engines. So if there was 120 links out there or websites that were linking to your site, and your nearest competitor with exactly the same factors, or all other things being equal, if they had 100 links, you would rank better than they would. And we use this strategy to some excellent effect for some of our biggest clients. But as Google became more sophisticated, it's looking for more authentic indicators of your value. So we're going to talk about and speculate about some of those factors. The reason why I say speculate is that Google is not completely open about the way that it ranks websites. Otherwise, everyone would be gaming Google. Google does provide some very specific information about how you should structure your website and how you should organize your information so that you can get the best possible results. But they don't talk about the black box. They don't talk about the search algorithm at all, because that's top secret. The other thing that I'm going to point out is that if you come back to this module after you finish all of the base training videos that we've provided for you, you're going to have new insight into the kinds of things that people do that are really working inside of their marketing. You'll recognize them when you see them. At this point, some of the things might go over your head because you're not sure what to look for. But as you understand the principles of targeting and developing good sales copy and creating meaningful benefits for prospects, you're going to see examples of that everywhere. So let's get into the sample examples. So in our research, we're interested in looking at firms that are operating in much larger markets so that we can be a big fish in whatever small pond we find ourselves in. We're not interested in emulating the behaviors and presentation of small firms. We're interested in figuring out what the big guys are doing and then emulating that in our own modest way in our smaller market where it might be less competitive. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with we're going to use a search term here to show us, let's say, criminal lawyers, Los Angeles, California. So what do we find out right off the bat here? Well, we've got some paid advertising, which is interesting. We've got some Google local listings right there, and we have some natural listings, including a listing on Yelp. So what can we find out? Well, if we want to first of all look at someone who's spending money on advertising, let's look at criminal-lawyer-now and try to figure out what they're up to. And the first thing I can say about this is it's a good solid design, and we've got a very strong message right from the get-go. you know exactly whether or not you belong here. If you have got one of these problems, you would definitely know you've come to the right place. So that's a strong message that you want to send people. When they land on your website, they want to know that they've landed exactly in the right spot. I don't know if I'm thrilled about this Superman pose, but maybe it works for the kinds of people that he's targeting. What about the call to action? The call to action here, call now, free consultation, that's a pretty typical call to action in a market where you're trying to attack people with an immediate short-term need. But I think if I was him, I would be putting it on this side, because the eye of the viewer starts in the upper left-hand corner and comes down. At least it does in countries where English is spoken. Now we have a call to action here, but it has been carefully disguised. Find out now. And we've got a little micro survey here, which helps us to see what kind of defense the person has. So that's an interesting way of tackling the lead capture problem, not making it overtly about lead capture. And there's no immediate exchange here except the promise of more information to sort of bring your defense into sharp focus. So I kind of like that approach. That's very interesting. And so those are some of the things you can learn from going down the rabbit hole when it comes to lawyers who are operating in more competitive markets than the one you might find yourself in. Let's look at the Criminal Defense Group. It's the next paid listing. Nice clean design. Do they put their call to action somewhere where I can find it? Yes, they do, although again I would prefer to see it on the left here. Call now, attorney on call. So this is interesting. It gives you the kind of instant ambulance feel where someone understands that this is a public service that is available to them 24/7. This is not a call now for more information type thing. This is more of a bat signal call to action where you shine the logo up into the clouds and this guy comes and saves the day, which I like. The other thing I like is they have gone out of their way to provide some immediate introductory videos there, which breaks the ice in advance of the call. You feel like you know the person before you even pick up the phone.
The Orange County District Attorney is so upset about this that he is holding this rather extraordinary news.
So these are, I presume Eric Chase is one of the partners in this law firm. So if you have anything like that, and you don't have to wait around for a news agency to give you, to film you and to put you on TV, you can do your own commentary on local news items, provide your own impressions of those, and what you would do if you were representing that person in the court system. So let's move on to the next example in our list. We've got fightthecharges.com. So once again, we've got a very simple layout here. We've got our call to action right up top here. Charged with DUI in Ontario. Contact our criminal defense lawyers to fight the charges. Well, it's a little weak, but it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't give me the same impression that the other well-written calls to action gave me. Although the toll-free that's a nice touch. And again, should be on the left somehow. If you want your logo to be on the left so that people are seeing that first, I mean, that's a wasted opportunity. You can always put it, down the page like this and then have your call to action up in the top. That would be the preferable way to do it. We also have an awful lot of ways to contact them here. These are all social channels that I presume they're using. Without any clear idea of what I'm supposed to do here. I mean, I would love to see someone follow me if I was Aitken Robertson, but I mean, these are just logos. There should be, if you're going to be aggressively building a social channel as a lead bucket, you should be making it very clear that you want people to follow you or subscribe or connect to you on LinkedIn. This really doesn't tell me what to do next. I mean, it's nice that they have them, but as a motivated potential client, I'm not seeing how this helps me. The other thing is with this call to action is I don't understand what the cost of delay is. So what will it cost me if I don't call them now? What are the possible consequences of not contacting them now and getting ahead of this charge that I might have? So I think that needs to be abundantly clear in the call to action. It's not enough that the person has an urgent need. You have to add some urgency to the solution as well. And you can do that very naturally by reminding them what the potential consequence of delay is when you're building these calls to action. All right, well, let's look at some more. Criminal Lawyers, Los Angeles. We've got the law offices of James E. Blatt. Now, these folks have done a really good job of getting themselves at the top of the Google business listing, which is great. We're also interested in knowing about what people are doing to get to the top of the search engines. This is a Yelp listing, so we're not interested in that. Justia.com is a directory where you can have your law firm listed, so we're not necessarily interested in that. That's not going to teach us anything about search engine optimization or other tactics. And then we have attorneys.superlawyers.com, yet another, I'm getting a feeling that this is probably another listing service. Yep, it's kind of like Rate Your Doc, I think. So maybe make a note of this and make an effort to get yourself listed with these. But what we're interested in this situation is what a world-class focused marketing system looks like in a competitive market. So Ambrosio E. Rodriguez, Los Angeles criminal defense attorney, nice website. Now, Ambrosio is doing the right thing here. Request free consultation. Here's your call to action on the left side. Nice job, Ambrosio. And he's got some social proof here. He's introducing his expertise and his personality to an uninitiated visitor, me, by showing that he's been on TV, and here he is talking about his clients and about his practice, and you're also getting a sense of what his professionalism and personality is like. So all good stuff, all above the fold, and I know exactly what I'm supposed to do next. I'm supposed to request a free consultation. He's also got some really great social proof here. So if you've been featured in magazines, if you've spoken in front of legal groups, or perhaps you have articles published in certain magazines, absolutely include their logos if those magazines are recognizable to your prospects. It's no good having social proof that doesn't mean anything to people. And he's got his AVO rating right here on the side as well. So again, more social proof. This guy's done a lot of high-end stuff. Start your free consultation. So Ambrosio's not letting you off the hook either. As you scroll down the page, yet another opportunity to engage with him. So this is the kind of tactical stuff that we really want to be on the lookout for. Clear calls to action, social proof, nice clean layouts. We don't have to go all out to have a glamorous layout, so long as we have clear calls to action and people know exactly what to do next. So those are just a few examples of how, looking outside of your marketplace, you can discover world-class tactics used by world-class marketing systems that are in very competitive marketplaces, and you can bring those strategies back to your smaller fishbowl and use them to dominate the local marketplace.